Bera of California, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thanks for coming in.
Kate, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. So you think, let's talk about the House Intel hearings really quick. You think that the House Intel hearings that took place, that they successfully made the case that the president tried to extort Ukraine money for investigations. But you see what has come out of the Republican report that they put out. Why then they're not conceding a single point? Why do you think then the judiciary hearing tomorrow will do anything to move the needle at all?
Well, I don't know that the Republicans were watching the same hearings that we were watching, that the public was watching. But I think the Intelligence Committee Chairman Schiff put out a pretty good case here that there was an abuse of power. I think when we see that report, he'll lay out the facts. You saw fact-based witnesses corroborate those charges. So at least on the abuse of power charge, I think you'll see that in the report laid out pretty clearly. I also think you likely will see obstruction of justice. The president's pretty much done that by denying certain witnesses showing up, by denying and not allowing us to see lots of documentation, et cetera. So I think there's a pretty strong case for obstruction of justice. And I think the Intelligence Committee will debate that report, probably approve that report, and send it over to judiciary for the next phase of this.
And you talk about the charges, and there's an interesting debate that is going on behind the scenes, we're told, that about how narrow or how broad charges against the president should be. Do you want to see the charges that are drawn up by the House to focus only on the Ukraine episode, if you will, or do you want to see it expanded to include, let's say, charges of obstruction coming from the Russia investigation?
I think based on the public hearings that we've had over the last couple of weeks, based off of what we'll see in the intelligence report that goes over to judiciary, I'm going to guess that judiciary drafts articles that are pretty narrowly focused on the facts that came out in the past few weeks. Now, any one of us, and I've read the Mueller report, in the redacted form, there's plenty of evidence of obstruction of justice in there.
But which would you like to see?
I think we keep it narrow. I think we keep it towards articles of impeachment based off of what we've seen in the last few weeks.
Democratic Congressman, one of your colleagues, John Yarmuth, he was on with me yesterday, and he said that while he thinks that President Trump should be impeached and removed from office, he also said that he doesn't necessarily think that politically it is the smartest move for Democrats. Do you agree with that?
I think we've got to do our job and uphold the Constitution. That said, you'll see in the hearing tomorrow in judiciary where they have constitutional experts come out and discuss what constitutes high crimes and misdemeanors. And then I think it'll be up to that committee as they debate whether the charges that have been laid out in the Intelligence Committee report constitute high crimes and misdemeanors, and then we'll go forward from there. Politically, we then just have to make the case. If we choose to go down a path of impeachment, we've got to make the case to our constituents why we chose to do that.